Well, it's still getting messier and messier in the It Ends With between co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaints, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence when she filed her complaint.
Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni are smack dab in the middle of what's quickly becoming one of the juiciest, messiest Hollywood scandals we've seen in a long time. And let's be real. This kind of drama is exactly what keeps the rumor mill spinning. So let's set the stage. Blake Lively, Hollywood's golden girl, America's sweetheart, is no stranger to the limelight. But lately, that spotlight has turned into a blazing inferno. Right by her side, none other than her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Once hailed as the ultimate ride or die, Ryan's squeaky clean image is starting to crack. And the perfect couple act? It's unraveling fast. Add Justin Baldoni into the mix, and suddenly we've got court filings, legal chaos, and whispers flying faster than a Twitter thread on fire. It's public. It's messy. And it's got all the makings of a full-blown celebrity. Meltdown. Let's dive into this hot Hollywood mess, shall we?
You're not kidding when you say this is getting messier. The author of that book deleting her Instagram account, another who plays Baldoni's sister in the film, being harassed online for...
All right, here's the tea. Ryan Reynolds, everyone's favorite quick-witted, charming Deadpool star, has found himself caught in a whirlwind no one saw coming. For years, he's been the guy we all love, the funny husband, the doting dad. But lately, the vibe has shifted. It all kicked off with his wife, Blake Lively, and her growing legal feud with Justin Baldoni, her co-star and director on It Ends With Us. Now, the tension between Blake and Justin has apparently been simmering for a while, but let's shift the spotlight to Ryan for a moment. When the drama first hit the fan, Ryan did what any supportive partner would do. He stood tall beside Blake, backing her publicly with declarations of loyalty and love. He was the ultimate ride or die, or so it seemed. But now, the cracks are starting to show. Ryan's patience looks worn thin, and word on the street is that he's quietly pulling back. And honestly, can you really blame him?
It's a continuation of the smear campaign that Blake initially claims happened while they were promoting the film.
Word on the street? Ryan Reynolds is feeling the heat, and not just from the public eye, but from his own messy entanglement in this whole fiasco. In a surprising twist, he's officially filed a motion to be removed from the lawsuit entirely. Yep, you read that right. Ryan's not trying to shut the whole case down. He's just desperately asking the court to let him off the hook. His argument? He's claiming this drama has nothing to do with him and that he never should have been dragged into it in the first place. But hold up, because just when you think it couldn't get any messier, this story takes another juicy turn.
Close to her, obviously making small chatter not in character so as not to make the scene, which didn't require dialogue, awkward.
Let's rewind to where Ryan's name first got pulled into this legal mess. He's not exactly an innocent bystander here, far from it. Ryan had a role to play in all this, whether he wants to admit it or not. Remember his work in Deadpool and Wolverine? Well, apparently he didn't hold back when it came to throwing shade. According to the claims, Ryan introduced a character named Nicepool in the film, an overly satirical, ultra-woke version of Deadpool. Justin Baldoni is now alleging that Nicepool was a direct parody of him. His legal team argues the character was intentionally created to mock and humiliate Justin. Oof. If true, that's more than just a creative jab. It could be defamation in disguise.
Literally, I'm just asking the question, like, how are women allowed to do this, to take something and to make it sound like you survived a... Because that's what it sounded like to the public.
And Ryan? Well, he didn't even bother denying it. In fact, in his court filings, he practically admitted that Nicepool was inspired by Justin Baldoni. But here's where it all gets messy. Ryan's legal team is now claiming that Justin's outrage is unfounded, arguing that satire isn't a crime. They're painting Justin as overly sensitive and trying to dismiss his claims as little more than hurt feelings. But here's the kicker. Ryan's own admission that the character was based on Justin has opened up a whole new can of worms. Now, Justin's legal team is digging in even deeper, aiming to prove that there was a coordinated effort to not only mock him through the film, but to bully him across Hollywood as a whole. And trust us, they're not backing down anytime soon.
We can now all agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to high treason.
But let's circle back to Ryan's current predicament. Sources close to the actor say he's completely fed up with being dragged into this mess, and honestly, who can blame him? The public narrative is shifting, and now people are starting to wonder just how involved he really was. Did he voluntarily jump into the fray to support Blake, or was he pressured into it? Rumors are swirling that Blake may have strong-armed Ryan into taking her side publicly, believing his star power could sway public opinion in her favor. If that's true, well, we've just entered a whole new level of drama. There's even talk of a video that allegedly shows Blake pushing Ryan to publicly declare his support for her. If that video ever sees the light of day, it could be a total game changer. Not only would it cast a glaring light on Blake's alleged manipulative tactics, but it would also raise some serious questions about Ryan's true feelings in all this. Is he really the doting husband we've been led to believe? Or is he just trying to ride out the storm Blake has stirred up?
So I'm just going to very quickly, before I give you all of the tea that I got over the weekend, I'm going to go over the biggest revelations from the filing.
Blake Lively is facing a growing list of allegations, and the whispers about her being a bully on set are getting louder. Multiple people who've worked with her in the past are speaking out, with one assistant director from A Simple Favor even claiming that Blake's behavior was so toxic it pushed her to leave the industry altogether. The director described her as impossible to please, constantly belittling people and creating a hostile work environment. And it doesn't stop there. Former crew members from Gossip Girl have shared similar negative experiences. If these claims hold any truth, it doesn't bode well for Blake, especially given that she's currently trying to portray herself as the victim in her legal battle with Justin. At the same time, Ryan Reynolds' alleged efforts to distance himself from Blake's drama are fueling new speculation. Fans are accusing him of trying to abandon her now that things are getting messy, and others are questioning whether his support for her was ever genuine. Was he really standing by her out of love and loyalty, or just trying to save face? It's also worth noting the financial strain the ongoing legal battles are putting on them. Word is, the couple has already spent a considerable amount on lawyer fees. If Ryan is trying to distance himself from the lawsuit to protect his finances, it wouldn't exactly be a shock.
Like, he literally tells Ryan he wants to be friends with you. And I can just see Ryan sitting there like, yes, this is exactly what I want, a puppy to kick in the mouth. And you'll do what I say.
The big question now is, where does this leave Blake and Ryan as a couple? Publicly, they're still presenting a united front, showing up together at events like the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary. But behind closed doors, who knows? The rumors about Blake allegedly bullying Ryan into supporting her are hard to ignore. If there's any truth to these claims, it could spell serious trouble for their marriage. After all, how long can a relationship endure this kind of pressure? And we can't forget about Justin Baldoni in all of this. He's not backing down. His legal team is laser-focused on building their case, digging into everything from Ryan's jokes in Deadpool to Blake's reported behavior on set. They're even investigating the funding behind the film and the roles other actors and producers played. It's clear they're not just aiming to win the case. They're trying to take down anyone involved in this whole mess.
I married an Englishman, so I think they're back. Anyways, it's time to throw your overpriced big wireless contract overboard too. You don't need to pay $100 a month.
Things are about to take a dramatic turn because Ryan's attempt to distance himself from Blake's drama is just the tip of the iceberg. Let's talk about his legal strategy, because it's definitely turning heads. Ryan's lawyers are going all in, arguing that his involvement in this entire mess is minimal at best. They're trying to paint Justin Baldoni as overly sensitive, accusing him of blowing everything out of proportion. But here's the catch. The more Ryan's team tries to wriggle out of the lawsuit, the deeper they seem to get pulled into it. And let's not forget, Justin's legal team isn't exactly sitting back and letting this slide. They're digging up every detail, no matter how small, and things are getting messier by the minute.
Pure Talk, my cell phone company, says no to inflated prices with a qualifying plan of just $45 a month. You can choose an iPhone 14 or a Samsung Galaxy for $0.
Justin's claims are largely focused on the infamous Nice Pool character from Deadpool and Wolverine. You remember him, right? Nice Pool was portrayed as an overly earnest, almost cartoonishly woke version of Deadpool, and from the moment the character appeared on screen, it was clear he was meant to poke fun at someone. Justin Baldoni, who has been outspoken about his views on feminism and inclusivity, immediately felt targeted. His team argues that the character was deliberately created to mock him, And they're not letting it slide. They're calling it what it is, bullying. And it doesn't stop with niece pool. Oh no, they're going much deeper. Justin's team has hinted that they plan to subpoena production documents, funding records, and even internal communications from Marvel and Disney to investigate just how far the mockery really goes. It's clear they're digging in for a long battle.
And one of the most significant allegations in Baldoni's lawsuit is that Lively sought to gain control over the editing process of the film. This is important.
Here's the kicker. Ryan hasn't denied any of it, not a single word. Instead, his lawyers are arguing that satire is protected speech and that Justin's outrage doesn't hold any legal weight. But here's where things get tricky. By admitting that nice pool was inspired by Justin, Ryan has inadvertently opened the door for Justin's legal team to start pulling in everyone involved in the film. That means directors, producers, writers, and even other cast members could all get dragged into this mess. And let's be honest, Disney and Marvel are not thrilled about this. The last thing they want is for one of their blockbuster franchises to be tied to a controversy like this. Can you imagine the headlines? It's a PR nightmare just waiting to happen.
Now you have two sides here, right? So Baldoni says this was all an effort to hijack the film to get her way. Lively claims she was the victim of harassment in a hostile work environment.
Let's pivot for a moment and talk about Blake, because her behavior is becoming a bigger part of the story. You've probably heard the whispers about her being difficult to work with, right? Well, those whispers are now escalating into full-blown allegations. Multiple people who've worked with Blake in the past are coming forward, claiming she's not the angelic Hollywood darling she's often portrayed as. One former assistant who worked with her during A Simple Favor said Blake's behavior was so unbearable it drove her to quit the industry altogether. According to this assistant, Blake was impossible to please, constantly belittling people and creating such a toxic environment that she would cry on her way home from work. And here's the kicker. It's not an isolated incident. Crew members from Gossip Girl have shared similar stories, describing Blake as someone who talks down to people and throws tantrums when things don't go her way.
Has denied all of these allegations. They have responded to this filing, this lawsuit, saying,
You might be wondering, why does this matter? Well, Justin's legal team is arguing that Blake's alleged behavior is directly relevant to their case. They're claiming that her pattern of bullying goes beyond just the set of "it ends with us," and that it was part of a deliberate effort to take control of the film, push Justin out, and undermine him. And here's the kicker. They say they've got receipts. Justin's team has hinted they're sitting on a mountain of evidence, including text messages, emails, and even testimonies from other cast and crew members, all of which they claim prove Blake orchestrated a smear campaign against Justin.
A video released by lawyers for actor Justin Baldoni shows unedited footage from the filming of It Ends With Us.
And let's not forget about that text message Blake allegedly sent to Jay, the one where she compared herself to Cersei from Game of Thrones. Remember? She referred to herself as the Mother of Dragons and hinted that her dragons, aka her powerful connections, would protect her and take down anyone who stood in her way. If that doesn't scream power move, we don't know what does. But here's the thing. Justin's team is using that text as evidence that Blake was using her, influence to manipulate situations to her advantage. And honestly, it's not a good look for her at all.
Of his career, he has been a major proponent of feminism, of healthy masculinity. How does it feel for him, though?
Speaking of bad looks, let's talk about Ryan's joke on Saturday Night Live. You know the one. During his appearance on the show, he made a quip that seemed to poke fun at the entire situation. At first, Ryan tried to claim that the joke was scripted by SNL, but that excuse didn't last long. Insiders from the show quickly revealed that Ryan had pitched the joke himself during rehearsals. And let's be honest, that makes it even worse. If you're publicly supporting your wife, who's claiming to be a victim, why on earth would you make a joke about the situation on national television? It's a terrible look, and it's only adding fuel to the fire.
Shutting down a woman's claims.
She is claiming that there was sexual harassment. He's saying none of it is true, never happened, never did.
Justin's lawyer, Brian Fredman, didn't hold back when asked about Ryan's joke. He said, and I quote, "I'm unaware of anybody whose spouse has been harassed and has made jokes about it publicly." Ouch, that's a brutal statement. but it's hard to argue with him. The joke has left many people scratching their heads, questioning whether Ryan's support for Blake is as genuine as he claims. Then there's the career fallout. Ryan's involvement in this drama is starting to have real consequences. Rumors are circulating that Disney is considering cutting ties with him, as his behavior might have violated their morality clause. And let's be real, Disney does not mess around when it comes to protecting their brand. Ryan reportedly earned a hefty paycheck for his roles in Deadpool and Wolverine. But if Disney decides to part ways with him, it could mark the end of his time as Deadpool. Can you even imagine anyone else playing that role? It's a disaster waiting to happen, not just for Ryan, but for the franchise as a whole.
That Justin won't be bullied by Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. So his lawyer told us that their recent court filings show how scared.
But here's the thing. Ryan's career isn't the only one on the line. Blake's reputation is taking a serious hit too. The bullying allegations, the legal battles, the constant public scrutiny, it's all piling up. And let's not forget, the once perfect image of her and Ryan as Hollywood's golden couple is starting to crack. They've always been known for their playful banter on social media, their picture-perfect family moments, and their seemingly unshakable bond. But now, people are beginning to question how much of that was real and how much was just carefully crafted PR.
He says, like, look, this is just, Hollywood is based on pure fear, cultivated by both of them and their very powerful friends.
And let's not forget about the fans. Oh, the fans. They're completely divided. Some are standing by Blake and Ryan, arguing that they're being unfairly targeted and dragged through the mud. Others are backing Justin, claiming he's the real victim in all of this. Then there are those who are just here for the drama, watching from the sidelines as this whole story unfolds like a real-life soap opera. So what's next? Honestly, it's anyone's guess. The legal battle is far from over, and with both sides digging in their heels, it doesn't look like this is going to be resolved anytime soon. Ryan's motion to dismiss himself from the lawsuit is still hanging in the air, and if it's denied, he'll be stuck in this mess for the long haul. Blake's legal team is scrambling to defend her, but with more allegations coming to light, it's getting harder to paint her as the innocent party. As for Justin, he's not backing down. His legal team is laser-focused on proving their case, and they're prepared to go to whatever lengths necessary to do so.
This tool of a lawsuit or whatever to get it into the public atmosphere, and now you're not going to allow me the chance to respond in the same app.
As this Hollywood drama continues to unfold, one can't help but wonder, is Ryan Reynolds really the supportive husband he appears to be? Or is he being manipulated by Blake Lively? And how will this legal battle affect their careers and public image? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more celebrity gossip and updates on this ongoing saga. Until next time, stay tuned.